Oh, hello, you two. How are you guys doing today?
Great, Rachel. How are you?
Good, yeah.
I'm doing fantastic. It is lovely to be here and be talking about such a beautiful film that really kind of stuck with me when I watched it, and it's still kind of sticking with me today. And getting to chat about this. So first off, like, congrats on that. What kind of drew you guys to this, both this to this script and to this story?
Exactly that. The script, that's as actors, you get given these sheets of paper with words all over them, and sometimes you go, "Oh, I want to say those words." And sometimes you go, "You can have that back." And this was one of those ones where we went, "I want to say these words." The script is so beautiful. Carmen poured his heart and soul into it. It's super personal, and it was an easy yes from me. I met Carmen, I met Tom, and I was like, "I want to go on this adventure with these guys."
Yeah, likewise. I mean, so much of it is the script, which comes from Carmen's vision, and then the way Carmen conducts himself because he's like story first, and everything else kind of ties into that. It's so much about the characters, the relationships, and the plot being like the most important thing. There's no bullshit on his set. He just is leads with his passion, leads with his personality, and everyone rallies around him because even for a debut filmmaker to have someone with such a burning need to tell their story, it's really hard not to get what's the word, kind of like
Inspired.
enticed, inspired by that. Like it feels like being reminded why you do this in the first place.
Yes, this was a
Yeah,
very energizing
yeah.
production.
Oh, I love hearing that. I know I was just talking to him like a couple minutes ago, and he was talking about the kind of energy and the space that he created on the set for both of you, and how it was like a safe space, and he wanted to get a lot of trust building in for it, given that there is so much like, especially this film has so much quiet intimacy that I feel like, you kind of have to really trust your scene partner and able to get to that. So what was it like getting to know each other and to work with each other in that environment?
I think you mentioned trust and scene partner, but the set was trustful. So you felt like everybody around you just wanted you to be the best version of this.
Mm.
Really felt that. And there was such a respectful serenity that went through, and people would watch the monitor and they come over and they just give you a quiet tap and go, "That was really good. Well done."
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
just, there was so much encouragement and what you need when you're artists. I mean, we have big egos, low self-esteem. You just need someone to go, "That was great, carry on, do that, do whatever he's doing then was great." And Carmen was an amazing director, his notes were great, but all the crew, there was such trust that run through. And if they gave you the wink, you thought, okay, we're doing something good here.
Yeah.
So, for us, we felt safe to explore. There was no effort needed to act.
Mm.
I didn't find. I felt like we
No.
could just take our time, pause, and then just go into it.
Yeah, I think when you have a director who is so personal and so vulnerable with themselves and allowing that to come to the screen, everyone around, including the crew, realize how how much of themselves the director is bearing, and so everyone kind of starts to take it a bit more seriously. Everyone starts to get on board with the idea that we're all being vulnerable together, we're all being brave by telling the story together in a way that bears all. And you feel like you could hear a penny drop on the set, and not
Mm.
because it was overly precious, but just because everyone was really locked in, everyone was really taking it seriously, and everyone cared about it.
It was a real organism.
Yeah.
And everybody was sort of playing their role, but we were moving as one.
Mm.
I
It's a
felt
real orgasm.
it was a real orgasm. So yeah,
Do you really whatever I was going to say next? I've lost it. It's gone.
yeah.
One of the things that I love especially is like all of those like going back to like a really serious question after that, but like, especially you, Tom, like there's so much quiet introspection that you have to do as Lucas. Was that how difficult was that to kind of tap into that? Because there's so much you're doing with just your eyes, with just glances that you don't even need words to, and it conveys perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, Lucas throughout the whole film until the very end is he's so locked in inside himself. So I just for a lot of that, however long we were there, 6 weeks in Syracuse, a month and a half, I was in quite a state of kind of confusion. I think I remember that time it was very cold and windy and damp in Syracuse and snowy and it was yeah bleak. And yet I was going to a set where I loved everyone who was involved in it, and there was a lot of joy in between the takes. But I'd go home and I'd feel quite locked in and quite isolated, and kind of couldn't really escape Lucas's feelings of like self-awareness and paranoia and yeah, so it was a complicated thing because I was like I loved being there and I loved working with everyone. And at the same time, Lucas is in this very heady, very self-conscious place. So I just kind of, you said this before, it's like that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Like if you're just because you're experiencing a little bit of what the character's experiencing, and that's not necessarily the most free, excuse me, free, positive thing, doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means you're kind of doing your job. You're living in it, and
You're accessing something,
yeah,
and as an artist, you want to live in that. And that's one of the privileges we have is that bad shit can make good art.
mm,
You know, there's not like if you're not a creative person or you have that outlet, I don't know what I would do. But I have so
yeah,
many, I have a lot of feelings, to quote Mean Girls. And you know, that's to have this job, to have this place where I can put those
Yeah.
is the biggest privilege. I have absolute
mm,
gratitude for that. And I feel like, yeah, you do get trapped because what you do as actors is you trick your body into fight or flight if you're instinctive and your head's going, oh, cool, now I'm going to go and get like a ice latte. But your body's going, hang on a minute, we nearly died just then, mate. And there's this conflicting, all these chemicals get released, and then you have to sit with those. I think if you give yourself permission to have those,
mm,
you can really access things.
yeah,
It's gone quite deep.
yeah.
No, it
Talk about
fits with
orgasms.
this.
Yeah, talk about orgasms.
That's just going to be the theme. That's going to be the title of this on YouTube.
Yeah.
No, it is in things like this, especially like you said, you have to go through traumatic things to make good art. And as someone who doesn't quite mirror Carmen's experience, but as someone who didn't like, kind of like come to terms with being queer until my 20s, almost 30s, and not addressing my sexuality, all of that. It is stories like this that are very important still, and that do need to be told and kind of have that level of care and love that you both and everybody on the set has clearly showed for these two characters in this story.
Well, that's great.
Thank
That's
you.
brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, all we can ask is that it resonates with some people, and we've people like yourself. We've heard a lot of people who feel they see themselves in some way in the story, and they feel seen by it. And yeah, I think that's more important than ever.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. And that kind of piggybacks off my last question that I always like to ask. What do you hope people take away from this film when they see it?
Hope. And just said that I hope they take away hope. I hope they take away an understanding of another human's journey.
Mm.
I hope they see similarities rather than differences. I hope they feel empathy. And I hope these characters live with them long beyond walking out of the movie theatre and they care about them and they think about them. And that allows them to project onto other people and think and care about them too.
Yeah, I hope people walk out of this film being reminded of the empathy they should treat others with. Like if you can see this film and then think, you know what, I want to make sure my friend, my loved one, my neighbor feels accepted, so that they can be whoever they want to be, and live with that like that breath of relief that Lucas feels. I mean, if we all did that, if we all just thought, I want to be the Emily in the story who is like accepting no matter what. I mean, it would just be a really lovely world to live in. So that's what I hope people take away from.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
just choose love at
Mm.
the end of the day.
Compassion. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and in today's world especially, we absolutely definitely need more of that. So yeah, I can assure you that this will stick with me for a while, and I can't wait to watch it again. So I can kind of like soak it all in and feel it all again, feel all the emotions. So congrats and thank you both so much for chatting with me today about this.
So much. What a
Thank you.
pleasure.